Mommy and Daddy, can I play a game, please? Makai been on the game all day. It's March, right?
Can I have it? Mom, Dad, can I drive to the store?
I finished!
Day in the life with the berry.
Join us, Damian and Youmone, a millennial couple, on the Millennial Marriage Podcast as we navigate the real life ministry of love, marriage, parenthood, and just overall life. Step into our world, the Millennial Marriage Podcast. What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody?
What's up, Millennial family?
Y'all here with us? What's up? What's up?
How y'all doing tonight, man?
We are starting live. I know it's not our usual night, and some of you are tired, you're sleepy, and you're getting your kids all ready for bed. But guess what? We just put ours to bed.
And school.
And school tomorrow. We just put ours to bed, and so now we can do it. We normally do it on Sunday nights, but there was this thing called Hurricane Ian.
Yes.
That impacted us, and so we didn't get in until late last night from fleeing, having no power for days. And so we got back real late, and so that's why we rescheduled it for tonight at 10 p.m. And so we are so glad that you all are joining us tonight, and we happen to be going live on multiple platforms.
Yes.
I'm just a little nervous. I'm just a little scared. I'm gonna be honest. I'm just a little scared, but we're gonna get through this together, right, family?
Yeah. Right. Let's get it.
So tonight our topic is weathering the storm, a very appropriate topic considering all that we've gone through. So people may not know, okay? We live in Florida, and we happen to live in the southernmost part of a county, okay, in Florida. And we didn't expect to get hit by this storm like we did. And it just so happens that we got hit hard. This storm Ian, Hurricane Ian, I heard like the eye was like 40 miles long, 40 miles wide. And so because of that, we unexpectedly got hit by this large hurricane. And because of that, our power went out. We were without power for almost 4 days.
About 4 days.
Imagine being in a house with 4 children with no power, no internet. Oh, listen. And then the storm itself, we thought, just watching all of the news broadcasts before it even got close to land, we were thinking, oh, it'll be a category 1 when it gets on land. Well, we didn't find out until in the middle of the storm, just receiving text messages from people asking, hey, how are y'all doing? You know what? Whenever people all of a sudden start texting you out the blue from different states and saying, are y'all okay? This storm, that may be a signal that this storm is way bigger than what we expected it to be.
Yes.
Like, did you expect it to be that big?
No, not really.
Little mosquito.
Not really. Because I went through a storm before. Well, I've been through numerous storms, so I just thought it was just going to be a regular storm. So that's just my opinion.
And he was so calm, y'all, and I was losing my mind through the whole storm. He was so calm, and he just decided, I'm just going to go into bed and go to sleep. I couldn't do it, y'all. This storm, and I'm a Florida girl, okay, but I have never weathered a hurricane. I always seem to run away from the hurricane, find the opposite coast to go, and just escape it all. This one caught us off guard a little bit.
Yes.
And so this storm came, people started texting us and saying, hey, this thing is big. And we found out this storm was almost a category 4 when it hit close to us. And it was so scary, y'all. The bands were coming, the wind was coming, and we really got hit hard. And I had to hunker down with the kids in the hallway, making a big pallet while this one laid sound asleep in the bed, not worried about anything. Don't y'all run across people like that, where they're going through storms in their lives and they are just okay with it? Like, Nothing phases them. How did you manage to do that with the hurricane force winds hitting the window? I mean, trees cracking, branches falling. How did you manage?
When you already been through that storm, it makes that experience a little bit more easier for you to get through. So that's what made it easier for me, because I already been through it.
Because you've had an
I already
experience
had an
with
experience with it. So it makes it a little bit more easier for this storm that hit, even though it was different circumstances, because now we are homeowners. And before the storm, the storm previously, we wasn't home. I was staying at family house. So now that it's your house, and it draws a little bit more concern, but not as much. So all the stuff that's in the yard now, that we have to go out there and clean it. Before,
but we didn't have any major damage or anything like that happen to our house, which is great, because as new homeowners, we were kind of like frightened about that. Now, you said something that was very impactful. You said you had gone through the storm before, so because you went through the storm, you were calm. You kind of knew what to expect. Since I've avoided all of these hurricanes and these kind of storms all my life, I've gone through tropical storms, but not a hurricane like this. I was afraid, but I will say it was a little calming. Not much, because I was still panicking a little. Anybody that knows me knows I'm very anxious. The Lord is working on me, y'all, I promise. But because you were so calm, it kind of made me feel foolish that I was being so hysterical, I guess, about it. But the fact that you were able to just sleep through it, it kind of eased me a little bit, like, okay, it can't be that bad. I mean, if we were going to die, I think he would be a little bit concerned. So I like the fact that you talked about, because you had your experience kind of helped me and even the children be secure and confident that we were going to be okay. It was going to be scary to go through it, but because you had gone through it, we knew we would be okay. And I think when we're talking about storms, weathering the storm has a lot. If we look at it even metaphorically, weathering the storm, you can weather the storm if you are connected to someone who has experienced a storm and has come out of a storm and can talk to you about it, right? Yeah. So my look, cousin Nelly is on. Hey, I'm gonna give a shout out again to Nelly's Healthy Juicy. She's on, and Nelly just commented and said they're used to the storm. Listen, I am not used to it, y'all, and I'm a Florida girl. I'm so ashamed. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm still just not used to these storms. I run away from them, and so sometimes we can't run through the storm, because I wanted to, but sometimes you can't run away from the storm. You got to weather it.
And sometimes you have to. It depends on the storm. It was a scenario when we was leaving Pensacola, we was going to Jacksonville, and there was a storm. We was driving in the storm. And while we was driving, we noticed that, people started slowing down, which we understand, using caution. But also we noticed that in the storm, we saw cars pulled over, and they was waiting in the storm, just trying to wait till the storm pass over while we was continuing to drive. Because just using it as a scenario, when you're going through a storm, you have to continue to go through it. Don't pull over and stop while you in the storm. Don't pull over thinking that the storm is gonna just come, or it's gonna come over you. No, you have to get through the storm. And as we continue to drive, you start to see that the sunlight was coming out. We start to see sunlight. We start to see not much rain. We can actually see now. So that's some
Conditions
of the things.
got better.
Conditions got better. That's because we weathered the storm. And that's something that we have to look at in life, is that even though you go through a storm, or even though no matter what the situation may be, you have to learn how to just keep going through it. Keep going, keep pushing.
Keep going.
Don't stop in the midst of the storm. You have to keep going, because there is daylight at the end of the tunnel.
So along the same lines, thinking about this physical storm that we just went through, and yes, I am scary. I know it. I'm admitting, I am embracing, I'm scary. And my oldest son was right there with me. Every noise we heard, we were looking out the window trying to figure out what was happening. But weathering that storm, it got to a point where I had to come to myself and say, this is not going to pass. Y'all, this storm was with us about 7 hours. No lie. It just felt like it was never ending. And so it gets to the point where you have to say, I can't do anything about it.
I can't do nothing about it.
I can't stop it. I wanted to stop the winds. I wanted to stop the rain. I wanted to stop the windows from shaking. And I got to a point where I lost complete control. And that is hard for me, to lose complete control. But I did. I got to the point where I just lost complete control. And I had to embrace the fact that we got to go through this. And so going through it, like you said, if I stop and just panic and just wig out the whole time, I, number one, can't appreciate the process of going through the storm. And then on the other side of the storm, like once I got out of it, I was so grateful and so thankful to God. Like I was like, thank you, Lord. I prayed so hard in that hallway. I was like, Lord, please get us through this. And when I hear other people talking about the storm, they did not have the same experience as me, y'all. They were fine. People playing cards and board games and all of that stuff. Not me. I was praying and prostrated myself before. I was so scared. It was ridiculous. But you made a good point. When we are going through the storm, oftentimes we want to pull over. We want to run away from. We want to turn back around. And
or
you get off. And you will never get to where you need to go if you do not weather the storm and get through it. But it does help to have a partner in your corner that's the opposite of you. Okay, so he's my calm. I even told you, I hope you remember this. I got so mad at him. I said, "Ooh, you just like Jesus on that doggone pillow," and all them disciples came running to him talking about, "Jesus, you don't see that we're about to drown in it?" I said, "You sound asleep on the doggone pillow. You don't see all of this stuff going on." He was like, "Man, we straight, man. Like I done been through this before. We good, man. The house is good with." And it was getting on my nerve that he wasn't just like panicking like me, but you do need that calm. You need that balance. You need somebody that's gone through it and that can tell you, no, we gonna be all right. We gonna get through this. So what's y'all experience, y'all? Hey, in the comment section, did you go through the storm? Are you okay? I hope you're okay, because we do know there were areas that were hit way more hard than we were. And so our prayers are with those families right now that are still struggling, that are loss of power, and God forbid, loss of life. We are praying for you. But what was your experience going through the storm? How did you get through? Let's feed, kind of pour into one another and give each other some strategies on how we weather these storms.
Or somebody that's listening, they might need some help.
Yes.
Who knows?
Yes.
Who knows who's listening, who's paying attention? So somebody might be going through a storm right now, and just some words of encouragement can help them get through the storm. So
let's talk about those metaphorical storms, because we just talked about Hurricane Ian, and you kind of alluded to the metaphorical storms of us driving down the highway and facing the storm. But we know Hurricane Ian hit us at a Cat 4 almost, high 3-4. So that means there are various categories of storms that we go through. I tend to run away from the Cat 3s, 4s, and 5s. That's what I do. I run away from those. But the Cat 1s can sometimes cause your foundations to shake and catch you off guard too. So we know there are like 5 categories. So in our marriage, we kind of discussed this a little ahead of time. So in our marriage, we have faced some levels, some categories of storms or hurricanes in our marriage. So like Cat 1, Cat 1 to us is kind of like our disagreements. Like we talked about it last week. We had disagreement. We weren't talking to each other because I am mad at you. You made me mad. You said something I didn't like, or you didn't agree with me. So guess what? I'm not talking to you. Why do you think that's a Cat 1?
It's not that serious.
Okay.
It's not that serious.
It's not that serious.
It's not nothing that's gonna tear your foundation down.
So. Okay, it's not really gonna shake your foundation.
No,
we're gonna have this disagreement.
Yeah,
we're gonna get over it.
We'll move on from.
We'll move on from. All right. So then Cat 2. All right, Cat 2. For us, this is just us. Yours could be different. Okay, and you could. Hey, in the comment section, talk to us. If your Cat 1 is different, let us know what your Cat 1 is. A storm that you've gone through. That's like a little I can get over this
Yeah.
kind of thing.
We can move on from this,
Our
you know.
cat too happened to deal with having different backgrounds and
Mhm.
merging and blending families together.
Yes.
That my background, I am African and I'm American. So my
Mhm.
dad is from Africa and my mom is from America. And so blending those families together for them was a challenge at first,
Mhm.
and it blended so well. Now my mom, everybody thinks my mom is African. They're like, oh, both of your parents from Africa? I'm like, no. But the cultures have blended so well together that it
Mhm.
worked. Us, you know,
Yeah.
you have a little bit of African, you have a little bit American over here, you have American, but then
Mhm.
you have a different region of Florida, you know, because you country,
Yeah.
you from the country.
From the country.
I'm a city girl. And so now we're blending that, and not even that, just different backgrounds, different upbringings,
Yeah.
blending those together. And sometimes that created some tension, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I had a totally different upbringing than my wife did. She grew up with her mom and her dad and been married, and they still married to this day, which I grew up without neither one of my parents. So I grew up, my aunt took care of me, which is Aunt Ella May. So different backgrounds, different things like that. Sometimes in the process of all of that stuff, you lose who you are. You lose your identity because you don't know who you really are, and you tend to attach yourself to different somebody else identity, and it pays off you may not understand it, why you looking at that next person, or why you acting like the next person, until as you get older you be like, man. But at that time I didn't know, I lost completely. I didn't know who I was, you know, because I had a different upbringing. My mom didn't raise me, my dad didn't raise me. It was either my grandmother, my aunts, and my cousins, and I greatly appreciate it. And they was all women. It wasn't really men that you can really look up to. So you tend to use the experiences of people that you admire, people that you see, and and you tend to adapt to that. So
And sometimes that's good, and sometimes that's not.
sometimes majority of the time it depends on who that person is,
Right.
and is
Because
and
you can
that's
have
why.
mentors
Yeah, you
that can
have
pour
that
into
stuff.
you
Yeah.
that are not your physical parents, but they
Yeah.
pour into you. And then you can have some people that are giving you the bad advice or leading you down the wrong path.
Mhm.
And so blending those families together sometimes
was
did
tough.
cause
It was
some
tough.
some disagreements, some
Yeah.
misunderstandings, things like that. But that is still something you can get over.
Yeah.
Because we love our families. Our
Mhm.
families are so supportive.
Yeah.
My parents are like his parents, right?
Mhm.
My parents are like his parents now. His family is now my family.
Mhm.
And so it eventually works. It
Yes.
takes some time.
Yes.
But if you stop, here's the thing. If you're driving through that kind of category 2 storm and you decide, you know what, this is too much.
Mhm.
I'm getting off at the next exit. You'll never see the other side of it, which is where we are today, I believe.
Yeah.
Where we can have family
was-
gatherings.
yeah,
And like
it
my
was-
parents, they come down here and visit. They go over to his family side, and now they are family as well.
It was tough, Star. I don't want people to think that we had just a perfect marriage. It
No.
was tough. It was tough, Star. Not when we first got married. It was, things that I thought wasn't important, but that was important to her. So it was just a lot of stuff. It was just a lot of stuff that you had to learn how to compromise and listen, and appreciate different things, and take time.
Mm-hmm. But you can't get off.
No,
you got to weather it. You got to go through it.
Mm-hmm.
So now category 3. All right, that was 2.
Mm-hmm.
For us, this doesn't have to be you, okay? For us, though, category 3 was always dealing with bills and finances.
Mm-hmm.
And that means we've lost some things throughout almost 17 years of marriage.
Mm-hmm.
We've lost houses. I'm not houses, but cars, and we've lost this, and we've lost some things throughout those years as we are growing and maturing and just learning more about life, because there were some lessons that I didn't quite pick up, growing up as far as finances are concerned. I just didn't. And then when I got to college, it got worse, because they hit you at college day one. Get this credit card, get this credit card, get this. And you're like, oh, yeah. So I made some poor choices on my own. And then on your side, I don't know if you were used to carrying such a heavy weight you know, and like both of us just balancing all of these bills and all of these things. So we have made some poor choices.
Yeah.
We're in a way better spot now. But
Mm.
that category 3, to
Yeah.
me, that can tear up.
That can tear up some stuff. Now you starting to feel the wind. You know, now you starting to really start to feel that wind when you're dealing with finances and stuff like that, you know, because sometimes for us, like coming from two different backgrounds, again, coming back to backgrounds, you know, we wasn't really taught how to handle money, what to do with money, how to do with money, what to do with money, how to save money and stuff like that. So you tend to learn the hard way, and you tend to learn as you continue to grow, and as you get older, you starting to see things that you really want, and you be like, oh, so this is what I want, but it takes this to have to get it. Nobody told you nothing about credit growing up, and that's what we're teaching our kids now about, you know, credit and what credit means and how you need credit. So, you know, so just dealing with those type of things, and finances shook us a lot. It didn't tear us up. It didn't tear us down, but it shook. It did some rattling of the windows.
It rattled the windows. It scared us, and I would
Yeah.
say to the point where we were approaching these large milestones. Like Damian is 42. I just turned 40 this year. As we were approaching the big 4-0, you expect to accomplish certain things in life, and you look at your friends and people your age, and they have all of these things. You're like, are we failures? Like, why aren't we where we thought we would be? You know, we can be honest. And so that can really shake up your foundation, you know. And if you're not researching it and really diving deeply into it, so you can have a financial, you can be financially literate, you will keep making the same mistakes, and you'll never get to the point where you need to get.
Yeah.
And so we are so thankful that we have people around us now that are constantly pouring into us and challenging us in the area of finance, from church to our cousin has her own financial literacy business. Shout out to Aisha. Aisha. And so you got to get around these people, and you got to be empowered, and you got to get the knowledge and skills that you need. And sometimes that comes through time. We want to just give up, like, we'll never get a house, we'll never do this, and we were able to get it.
Yes.
This year.
And it may not be the house that everybody else.
No.
You know, like I said, we have to understand is that how God is going to bless us might not be the same way He bless other people, y'all. Let's keep it real. How God blesses us not going to be the same way He may bless the next person. So God has blessed us with this house, and this house that we have is what, 100 years old.
100 years old.
And
that's why I'm so scared, y'all. It's not no new house.
Exactly, it's not no new house, but this is what God has blessed us with, and we have to appreciate the things that God has. We asked for a house. He blessed us with a house. So you just have to appreciate the things that God has blessed us with, even though it may not look like the next person. And we can't compare our situation to the next person's situation.
We've learned that.
So we've been learning that
in category 3.
Yeah, that's what we had to learn as we continue to be married.
Yep. Through the storm, we learned, okay,
don't get it twisted. Now, at times there were different storms coming at different times. It could have been a whole bunch of storms for the year, like category 1 storms throughout the year.
While a 3 is going on.
While 3 going on. While 4 is going on. While 5 is going on. So it could be 3 or 4 storms at the same time. You just have to learn how to weather it.
So then that's 3. So that starts scaring you a little bit, right? It starts you questioning your foundation, your identity. Who am I? Am I a failure? All of these different things. Then you get hit with a 4. 4 for us throughout the years of our marriage was infidelity, trust, all of those kind of issues that are tied and associated with that. We had a cat 4 hit us throughout our marriage. And then what that does to me, that category 4 really shakes the foundation. Now you got to go check and see if you need roof work. you know, you got shingles on the ground, you got all of these things going on. You might have cracked windows. Now you really got to check. Busted windows. Bust the windows out your, okay, sorry, but busted windows. You can have a whole bunch of stuff because of this category 4 comes in and it catches you off guard. That's what happened with Hurricane Ian. I know for me, it caught us completely off guard, and oftentimes that's what happens. And so let's talk about that, because someone talked to me today and this person was so inspiring, man. She knows exactly who she is, and she was so inspiring and telling me, she was like, hey, you know, with y'all podcast, I watch it, but you all being pastors and ministers, is that going to prevent y'all from talking about certain things? Because, you know, you kind of don't want, listen, we don't care about appearances, y'all. I'm gonna be very honest. It is what it is. We say whatever the Lord tells us to say, because we do believe somebody is going through it, and we can put on airs and put on a facade and act like none of this stuff is happening, but it's real and it's happening, and other people are dealing with it. So infidelity has happened in our marriage. Trust issues have come as a result of it, but we found a way to weather the storm. How do you think we weathered through it?
I'm gonna be honest with you. It was through Jesus Christ. I had to, for me, you know, once again, it all comes back to your upbringing and your background, and sometimes you want to take what you grew up with into something new, and you can't allow that to happen because it ain't gonna happen. It can't work. So that was the biggest problem, and not only that, and just trying to be around people, trying to hang out and do those different things. And I didn't know that, you know, me personally, I didn't know that. Millennial family, I didn't have a clue. I didn't know what a marriage looked like. I haven't seen a positive marriage. So it took for me to have to go through things to say this ain't working. So it was depending on the people I was hanging around with. I started hanging around with single male friends. They wanted to go out to the clubs and everything like that, y'all, and not thinking about, oh, you married and all of this type stuff. So you got to be careful. You have to be very careful when you're dealing with. Not saying that it's you don't have to have single friends, but at certain things you just can't go to. You're a married man, and you can't go to certain places anymore. You can't do certain things anymore. So I had to learn that it was nobody but God, y'all. I had to, when you start,
sounds depressing, because you can't do certain stuff because you're married now.
No, but it's
well, goodness.
No, it's about maturing, man. Is when, if you want to be out there in the world and do all those different type of things, then it's all about maturing. To me personally, I can't do what I used to do when I was single. I can't do that type stuff.
It didn't work for him, y'all.
It didn't work for me. So I had to.
And maybe it works for somebody.
It might work for somebody else.
It don't work over here.
No, it don't work for me.
And
I couldn't do
it. In that process, because I will use it as a process, I was like, I'm done. I ain't dealing with this. What? I'm better than that. You tried all of me. Like, never. It won't happen again. But you got to have some wise people in your corner, y'all. We talked about this. So some people that have weathered storms before, and one in particular, my mama. I love my mama. My mama is going to be watching this. She's going to probably watch the replay. I love my mama. But I had my mama, who has been married 43 years now, sit me down to tell me, hey, no man is perfect, Youmone. No man. And if God puts you together, you're going to have to find a way to work through it. You're going to have to find out what the root cause is. Why did this happen? Find it out. And not saying there was anything wrong with me. Okay. There's something going on with him. You got to pray for him. She gave me some steps. You got to pray for him. You got to do this. You got to do, and you got to ask God to work on you and how you are responding to this situation. And of course, I was like, ain't nothing wrong with me. It's all him. It's him. He the problem. And then the Lord had to show me, no, Youmone, you know, there's some areas in your life too that you need to work on as well. As he's molding him, he was molding me. And so it's easy in a Cat 4 to say, we're not going to make it. We gonna die. This is gonna die. This marriage is gonna die. We gotta just move on.
Tear up some stuff.
It will tear up some stuff, y'all. But if you just weather it out, right?
I'm gonna tell you like this: get you some people who's gonna speak positive things, even though you're going through a tough situation.
Yes.
Get those people get those people. Surround yourself with those type of people. Don't surround yourself with people telling you, "Oh, you should leave." You
had people like that.
You have to be very
said,
careful
"Leave,
with
girl,
those type of people. You need people that's gonna say, "I'm gonna pray for you," and we need to talk about this. Now, you think that's the right thing for you to do? Do you, just you have to have people with wisdom in your corner. You have to, because if you don't and you keep going to the streets, the streets gonna tear your marriage apart. And you're gonna wonder why things ain't working the way it ain't working. Because you're going to the wrong people, you're getting advice. How you gonna go get advice from somebody that ain't even married?
Well, no, now let me correct you there. I got people now in my corner, at least 2. That are not married, but give me wisdom. Like when I am on that edge, like he tripping, like what is going on? Because you be tripping sometimes. Right? Like I be tripping sometimes. So I got at least 2 that are not married, but wise. And most times what they do is they let you talk. They don't offer a whole lot of suggestions. They let you talk. And they let you let it all out. And then they'll be like, I'm praying for you. What? Like, you don't want to hear that, to be honest. You want somebody to be like, girl, yeah, he tripping. But that, go ahead and let's go out tonight, girl. The Lord hadn't placed those people around me. The people he's placed around me are like, for real, I'm going to pray for y'all. Because,
she goes 0 to 100 real fast, y'all.
I do, y'all. Pray for me, y'all. I do. It's so bad.
She need people to talk off the edge.
Talk me way off the ledge. Like, come on down, because I'm real quick. Like, what happened? I feel tried, and I need people that are the opposite of me to kind of bring me down.
Yeah, because you can't have 2 crunk people.
No, you'll get nowhere. You don't need a friend that's always like, yeah, girl, let's leave me. No. And so another thing that I realized is I had to work on my insecurities as well. Because that's within that storm. That's like a little tornado in the hurricane. Is insecurity, your lack of trust based on your previous experiences and relationships. All of those things are little tornadoes. Because with Cat 4 come a lot of little small tornadoes. And lightning strikes and things like that. And they'll tear up some trees and uproot some stuff. We got some uprooted trees right now physically in our yard. So that comes with a Cat 4. But we can make it through it.
Yep. Got through it, y'all.
We got through it, y'all. Okay. Now that 5.
Sheesh.
That 5, you would think, okay, the 4, it's got to be, the infidelity's got to be the biggest for us, y'all. The category 5 that hit us was our daughter dying.
Yes.
That was totally unexpected. And I remember, and we always say it, that we had the nurse at the hospital tell us, hey, y'all are a young couple, and we've seen this happen to young couples, and many of them don't make it. And that was back in 2011 when our daughter died. And now it's 2022, and we're still going strong. That category 5, it will rock your whole world to lose a child, to lose a parent, to lose a spouse. I know some millennials that are dealing with the loss of a spouse. That is a storm that will rock your world completely. It is devastating. Yeah. That's what a category 5 is. It's devastation. Like you lose everything. And that's how we feel. We felt like we were going to lose everything. Like, what is there left? And we had to realize we still had at that time 2 other children, our oldest 2 boys. And so if we give up, then what happens to them?
It was tough, y'all.
It was very tough.
It was tough.
Yeah.
It was tough. I'm not even gonna lie, y'all. It was tough. It was tough to deal with. It was tough. It was just hard, y'all. Because once again, when she was born in the hospital and she never left the hospital, so we was dealing with 3 months of going back and forth to the hospital every single day. every single day, y'all. It was tough.
Yeah.
It could have tore our marriage apart.
Yeah.
It was that tough, y'all.
In our
It was.
mind, just us as individuals, it could have just
Yeah.
took us out, but it did it.
Because
And-
we handled we mourn differently. So even though my wife was the one that was more, you know, crying and all of that type of stuff, and I felt like I had to be the one that be strong for, you know, everybody, for my at least for my wife and for my children, for my boys at the time. I had to be the strong one and not let them see me. But in your alone time, man, it you had to let it out. That's how I grieved when nobody else was watching. So it took a lot out of me. It took a lot. It took a lot out of me, because that was our only
understand
daughter.
that sometimes. I didn't understand how you weren't vocal in your grief, and sometimes that would kind of make me feel like I was alone. You know what I'm saying? Because but again, you handle the storm differently than me. I'm always going to be the vocal one, and you kind of were more reserved and more reflective on the whole matter. But to me, that you were stronger than me. For example, when they called us to say that our daughter was dying, and I said we didn't want to go to the hospital as she died because I really was too weak. I couldn't handle that. And by the time we got there, she was gone. You were like, no, I want to hold her. And they were asking me, do I want to hold her? No. I said, I didn't want to look at her. I didn't want to hold her. I just could not. And I felt weak. Like I felt kind of embarrassed that I was so weak at that time. And I looked at you like, how strong are you, in this situation? But it's all in how people handle it.
Yeah, it was because we never really had a chance to hold her, because she was always she had so many tubes, y'all. We couldn't just, they only allowed us to hold her like 1 or 2 times.
No.
So
it was more than that.
More than that?
Yeah.
Well,
it was hard though, because of the
and then
cords and
we never
stuff.
heard her talk, because she had a trach in her throat. So, it was just a lot. It was, when I tell you it was a lot, y'all, it was a lot. It took a lot. It took a lot out of us. It took
that
a lot.
category 5
It shook a whole foundation.
Shook the whole foundation. But you know how we got through it, y'all? We found a way to tell our story. That's the only way we knew how to get through this. This is a shameless plug, but I don't know if you can see it. Oh, sorry. It's hard to see. We wrote a book called Grace in One. And what it is, it's a dual narration of me using my voice, and then Damian using his. And it was hard kind of pulling it out of him. So what I would do is, at night when we sit down and talk and reflect, I started recording the conversations that we were having. And then that's what I used to write his section. I started asking him different questions. How did you feel about this? And da-da-da-da-da. And he was just talking, because Damian can talk, y'all. Damian can talk. He seems shy, but Damian can talk. And when he gets to talking, you might want to listen and record, because he does have a lot of wisdom and insight. And so that's how we were able to write this book. And if you don't have it, it's a good read. It could be a hard emotional read, but it's straight from our heart. It's on Amazon. It's called Grace in One. It's written by me and Damian. And so get the book and share it with somebody, because that is how we got through our category 5 storm.
Yes.
We told our story.
Yep.
And so some of you may be going through the various levels, even a Cat 5 right now. You may be going through it, especially coming right out of COVID, then going into a hurricane. Things are tough. Things are going on. You could have mental health issues, whatever the case might be. The way you get out of it is you don't stay stuck in it. You've got to tell. You've got to open up your mouth. You've got to get help. That is how you get over a devastating storm like a category 5.
Don't stop.
Yes.
Don't stop in the midst of the storm. Keep going and keep going. Trust and believe that there's going to be daylight. The sun is going to shine again. Eventually it's going to shine again, but you have to keep moving.
Yes.
Don't get stuck in neutral, or don't put the brakes on nothing, or don't get off.
Yeah.
Keep moving forward. Yeah. Keep going. That's the advice that we can give you, keep going and trust God that there is daylight at the end of this storm.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So if you don't have Grace in One, that's our shameless plug tonight. Go and get it. It's on Amazon.com. If you want an autograph copy, hit us up. Message us on the Millennial Marriage Podcast and let us know, and we will make sure we get one out to you. Autograph copy straight from the both of us. But get it. Grace in One. It's on Amazon. Now we are nearing the end of our time here. But we want to definitely give some shout outs. I don't want to forget. So we said we had Hurricane Ian hit. It devastated a lot of the southern part, southwest, south central kind of area of Florida. But we've had, besides the linemen, we give the shout out to the electric companies, the linemen, the first responders. I want to even say the administrators, school staff that worked shelters and left their families, and all of them, we give them a shout out. We so appreciate all of you weathering the storm and helping us get over the storm. But also significant businesses like lawn care services. So we want to give a shout out to Gino's Lawn Care Services. They have done, I saw pictures of it on social media. They have done a wonderful job of helping families recover from the storm by just helping them clean up their outside. That's
reach out to them, guys.
Reach out. I reached out today. Listen, we need help. If you need help getting over the storm, find the resources that will help you.
Yard, because there is a lot of debris in your yard. A lot of
debris.
Reach out to
Gino's Lawn Care. Okay?
Reach out to them.
Reach out to them. And also, going through the storm, you don't need to look like what you're going through. This is my other shameless plug. And so I made sure I got my hair done today. I reached out and got help because I needed some help, and it's been so stressful. And I'm like, Lord, I need a smile on my face. And so Styles by Raven did me up today, and I'm so grateful for Styles by Raven. And so we want to constantly give shout outs every podcast because there are some people doing great and fabulous, amazing things. And
let me give one shout out. Shout out to John's Restaurant.
John's Diner. John's Diner.
Whoa.
Yes, they opened up.
And right, boy, the line was out in the road. They wanted that chicken so bad.
We didn't have electricity. People were hungry, and they opened up and fed people.
Fed the multitude.
Fed the multitude, and it was good, y'all. And so shout out to them as
John.
well.
John, we want a free plate.
Hey, give us a free plate.
Get some free chicken.
I love
John.
it. We're gonna keep giving you shout outs. So listen, y'all. We want to continue to promote businesses, especially small businesses. Sometimes we don't get a good rap, but we want to definitely keep promoting small businesses. So if you have a small business that you would like us to shout out, put it in the comment section. Hit us up. We will definitely give your business a shout out. Next week, Damian is going to try his Nellie's Healthy Juicy. Nellie's Healthy Juicy.
I'm going to try it on the air.
He's going to try it on air, y'all. And so last week I talked about it, and I love my juicies. And so he's going to try it on air. You need to hit up Nellie's Healthy Juicy so you can get yours as well. Anything else we missed?
No, that's all. You got to get ready for bed, y'all. We got an early morning. Early morning.
And so we appreciate all of you for joining us for our podcast. We're going to add some special guests. Hopefully next week they'll be ready to join us. But we want you to follow us. So subscribe to the channel. Follow us on Facebook and even Instagram. It's the Millennial Marriage Podcast, y'all.
Hey, another thing, if you have a topic that you want us to discuss, put it in the comment section so we can read it, and maybe we'll come up with and talk about that topic. So if you have something that you want us to talk about, put it in the comment section and we can discuss it.
Put it in the comment section, y'all. We got y'all.
We got you.
Listen, this is your motivational and inspirational time. We're going to try to do it every week, and we may even increase the frequency depending on your feedback. Like, share, please, and subscribe. This is the Millennial Marriage Podcast, y'all. We love y'all.
Yes, peace.
Mommy and Daddy, can I play a game, please? Makai been on the game all day. It's my turn.
Yours. And I have it. Mom, Dad, can I drive to the store?
I finished.
Day in the life with Larry.